This is Kevin Durant. Last year, Kevin averaged 26.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, and this is Dillon Brooks. Not an MVP, not an All-Star, not an All-NBA player, and a guy who has been called dirty, inefficient, and even a gimmick type of player. So what happens when you switch these two guys? In the case of the Phoenix Suns, you go from the most disappointing, overrated, disjointed team we have ever seen to one of the best underdog stories in recent memory, and a team who has surpassed their projected win total just over halfway into the season. And it's because they've done something truly groundbreaking in the modern NBA. They've actually built a team that not only likes each other, but plays for each other and plays for their coach. Because whilst the NBA is a league about talent, it is a league about shot making, what a lot of people fail to realize is how much talent is actually in this league and how much difference it can make when those players are put in the right system with the right coach and the right teammates. Look no further than the Suns' starting point guard and backup point guard Colin Gillespie and Jordan Goodwin. This time last year, Colin Gillespie couldn't get minutes on a team that needed a point guard, a team that was desperate for a point guard. Fast forward a year later, and he's now giving you 15 a night, shooting 40% from 3, hitting step back threes, walking into pull-up threes with confidence, and he's got Anthony Edwards saying this about him after hitting game winners.
Gillespie's got it. Works it inside. Tough runner. Gets it up and in.
Number 12. He's pretty good at basketball.
And then there's Jordan Goodwin, someone who has always shown promise, but has never been able to find a team that will consistently play him. And what the Suns have done with Goodwin is the same thing they've done with so many other players on this team. Instead of trying to make him someone he's not, they've focused on his strengths as a player. And whilst I did call him the backup point guard of this team, because technically he is, that's not really the role he plays. He is someone that goes out there and has one job: wreak havoc on defense and on the offensive glass. Just like this play on the D-Book fadeaway, watch Goodwin catch VJ sleeping, sneaking around behind, and with Williams getting the first tip, Goodwin is there to put it back on the second tip. At just 6'3", Goodwin is averaging nearly 8 rebounds per 36 minutes. And even more impressively, nearly 40% of those boards have been offensive rebounds. And we can't talk about hustle without mentioning the guy they traded for. Because whilst Dillon Brooks will never be as talented as Kevin Durant, it is not a coincidence that everywhere he goes, those teams win. Everywhere he goes, those teams have good, sometimes great defenses, because he brings a different mentality, an energy that he plays with every single night. And it sounds so obvious, right? Of course you need to play hard to win in the NBA. Everyone does that, right? No. Because there is a difference between playing with effort and playing hard. Most teams play with effort every single night, unless they quit, which the Suns did last year. There are very few players that play with the same energy on both ends as Dillon Brooks.
How do I get people like that care? And so Dillon is definitely someone, in my opinion, that cares. One thing I've learned about the NBA, playing hard and caring about winning, like, I didn't think that those were skills, but those are skills.
And like Matt Ishbia said, and like a lot of people have said, this is contagious. When you see Brooks doing things like this on the first play of the game, where Amen Thompson brings it up the floor, and Brooks is pressing him, getting into his body, and then forcing the turnover, that's going to encourage other players to do the exact same thing. Or look at him on this play with 2 minutes remaining, and him isolated against Shea. How many players do you see not only get a stop, but force a turnover against Shea in that situation? This is why the Suns are a top 5 defense in the NBA. It is the energy they bring. It's not just Brooks or Goodwin, Ryan Dunn, Mark Williams is shot blocking, Royce O'Neal, Oso Iguodaro. And you know what? The best player on this team, the most talented player, also works his ass off on defense as well. And to me, this is what separates Devin Booker from other guys, and why I personally would take him over a guy like Donovan Mitchell. special. Not that I'm interested in starting that debate, it's what he does defensively. No one looks at him as someone to defend, and his reputation isn't someone who's a very good defender, just because naturally he's so skilled and polished offensively that they don't expect that. But he works on defense every single game. Just watch a play like this, which is a perfect example, where Steph gets the loose ball, and the second he realizes Richard's sprinting the floor, watch him put his head down to chase him before getting the stop. Lots of superstars in that situation wouldn't give that kind of effort, because they're going to get their shots and they're going to get their money regardless, which pretty much sums up last year's Phoenix team. But D-Book has always been a guy that will do the extra work for this team. Again, on this play, you can see him chasing down Jake LaRavia, putting in that extra effort to make the play. And not only does Book have the effort required, but he actually has the defensive skill. He has the size, the physicality. There is a reason he's been a part of multiple great defenses despite never playing with a defensive player of the year type of guy, because he's never a weak link, which you can't say for a lot of other superstars. Dillon Brooks might have the most energy, but Devin Booker working on defense also has just as much impact as anyone else. And to me, this sums up the Suns as a whole. There aren't any weak links. This is going to sound silly, but just look through the top 10 players on this roster. Every single one of these guys can hoop. Every single one of these guys is bought in defensively, and outside of the bigs, they can all shoot the ball as well. Now, in saying that, the difference a great coach can make, we're also seeing. Not just in Phoenix, but in Cleveland as well. Because if you're wondering why the Cavs have gone from the best team during last regular season to what they're doing this year, Jordan Ott was their assistant coach. Now he's the coach in Phoenix, and they are reaping the rewards of this man's genius. Because it's easy to look at these guys and say they're all good NBA players, but when ESPN predicted the Suns would finish with 31 wins, when they were predicted to only finish with one more win than the Pelicans, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was crazy, and I don't think many other people did either. But this is the biggest example of the difference between a team of individuals and an actual team, which Phoenix fans know better than anyone. And Jordan Ott has turned this into a team. He's a guru. He studies the game at a high level. I've spoken on it before. He's not just watching our games, he's watching everybody across the league and what's working and what's not. You can see it out there. These players trust Jordan Ott. They have a game plan. They know what they need to do, and they're all bought in. And that is how a team can lose talent but get even better the next year. Something no one expected from the Phoenix Suns.